Morning everyone. We are the Group 5 and we are here to present the topic entitled Libel and Slander. Studying libel and slander is important in today's world, especially with the rise of digital communication platforms. Social media and online forums have empowered individuals to spread information quickly, increasing the risk of defamation. In fact, scholars like David Rolfe and Eric Goldman have explored the complexities of online defamation, highlighting the need for nuanced legal responses. Moreover, studying libel and slander goes beyond legal analysis, involving ethical considerations, media literacy, and balancing freedom of speech with protecting reputation. As digital communication evolves, this field requires continuous exploration and adaptation to address new challenges effectively.
The following slides will show what is defamation and what is the difference between libel and slander. Libel and slander are both legal terms that fall under the umbrella of defamation, which refers to the act of making false statements that damage someone's reputation. The crucial distinction between libel and slander lies in how these false statements are communicated.
Libel involves the publication or dissemination of defamatory statements in a fixed or permanent form, such as writing, paint, pictures, or any other visual representation.
Example of libelous statement include false accusation published in newspaper, magazine, books, and website, social media posts, or any other written format.
Because libelous statements are recorded and preserved in a permanent medium, they have the potential to reach a wide audience and can have a lasting impact on the individual's reputation.
Slander, on the other hand, refers to defamatory statements that are spoken or conveyed orally.
These statements occur in verbal conversation, speeches, broadcasts, interviews, or any other form of spoken communication.
Unlike libel, slanderous statements are not permanently fixed and recorded, making them more fleeting and transient in nature.
While slander can still harm a person's reputation, its temporary nature and a lack of permanent record can make it more challenging to prove and typically result in less significant damage compared to libel.
Elements of libel and slander or things to consider proved a defamation. Publication for a statement to be considered defamatory. It must be communicated to someone other than the person being defamed, either libel or slander. Both can lead to defamation claims if the false statements harm someone's reputation.
Fallacy in defamation cases, the statement in question must be untrue to be considered defamatory. True typically serve as a defense against defamation claims, meaning if a statement is proven to be true, it cannot be considered defamatory.
Harm to reputation refers to the damage inflicted on an individual or entity reputation as a result of false and defamation statement. It is critical elements in determining the impact and severity of defamation and the resulting legal remedies available to the affected party.
Identification. For a statement to be considered defamatory, it must either directly identify the person or entity claiming defamation or be reasonably understood to refer to them. Without this connection, there cannot be a valid defamation claim because the statement must specifically target the individual or entity alleging defamation.
Fault is proving one's fault varies. For public figures such as politicians or celebrities, a higher standard of fault typically applies. They often need to prove actual malice, which means showing that the person who made defamatory statement knew it was false or acted with reckless disregard for the truth.
For private individuals who are not public figures, the standard of fault may be lower. They may only need to show that the defendant was negligent in making the false statement, meaning they failed to exercise reasonable care in ensuring its truthfulness before making it public.
Counter-allegation and defense for libel and slander or things that have proved that an accusation of defamation is not acceptable. Truth. If a statement is proven to be true, it cannot be considered defamatory. Truth serves as a complete defense against defamation claims because defamation involves false statement that harm someone's reputation. Therefore, truthfulness typically results in dismissal of defamation allegation.
Privilege. Privilege in defamation law refers to a legal immunity that shields certain statements made in specific contexts from defamation claims. There are two main types of privilege. Absolute privilege. Absolute privilege typically applies to statements made during legislative proceedings, judicial proceedings such as court hearings, and other official government functions. It ensures that individuals can freely participate in these processes without fear of being sued for defamation.
Qualified privilege. Qualified privilege applies to statements made in good faith and without malice in context, where there is a legitimate interest in the information being communicated. This context may include employment references, statements made to protect one's interests, or reports on matters of public interest.
Opinion expresses of personal opinion are typically not considered defamatory because they are subjective and not intended to convey factual information.
Fair comment. Individuals have the right to express opinion or criticism on matters of public interest without fear of defamation claim. This defense protects freedom of expression regarding to public issue as long the comments are made honestly and without ill intent.
Consent. If the person allegedly defamed consented to the publication of the statement that they claim is defamatory, it can be used as a defense against defamation claims.
Statute of limitations. There is a specific time limit within which plaintiffs must file defamation claims as determined by law. If the plaintiff fails to file the claim within the time frame known as the statute of limitations, the defendant can use this as a defense against the defamation allegations.
Innocent dissemination. Defendants who unknowingly distribute defamatory statements may be shielded from legal liability if they had no reason to believe the statements was defamatory and took reasonable steps to confirm its accuracy before sharing it. For example, if someone shares a defamatory article or post without reading it truly or understanding its implications.
No publication if the statement remain private and is not shared with third party. It may not meet the requirement for defamation because defamation requires publication to a third party.
Punishments for libel and slander or the consequences if an individual is proved in performing a defamation. Civil damages. Individuals who have been defamed may file civil lawsuits to seek financial compensation for the harm caused to their reputation. Civil lawsuits for defamation seek to provide compensation to the victim and hold the defendant accountable for the harm caused by their defamatory statements.
Injunctions. Courts have the authority to issue injunctions, which are legal orders requiring the defendant to stop further publication of defamatory statements. Injunction serves to prevent the defendant from continuing to harm the plaintiff's reputation by disseminating false or damaging information. They are legal tools used to halt ongoing defamation and protect the plaintiff's interests.
Retractions and corrections. Defendants who have been found liable for defamation may be required by the court to issue retractions or corrections of the false statement they made. These retractions or correction must typically be made in the same medium and with a similar level prominence as the original defamatory publication. The goal is to mitigate the harm caused by the false information by publicly correcting it and ensuring the truth is known to be same audience that was exposed to the defamation.
Criminal penalties in certain jurisdictions. Defamation can be treated as a criminal offense, especially in cases involving false statements that are deemed especially harmful or serious. Criminal penalties for defamation may include fine or imprisonment. An individual who are found guilty of defaming others in a manner that are considered criminal may face punishment by the state.
Community service. As part of the consequences for being found guilty of defamation, defendants may be ordered by the court to perform community service. Community service involves unpaid work that benefits the community, such as cleaning up public areas, assisting in charitable organizations, or participating in educational programs. It serves as a way for defendants to make amends for their actions and contribute positively to society as a form of punishment.
In the Philippines, both libel and slander are considered criminal offenses under the revised penal code. The law outlines specific provisions, Article 353 to 362, that define and penalize these acts. Individuals who engage in libelous and slanderous behavior in the Philippines may face criminal charges and potential punishment as outlined in these legal provisions.
Article 353 means that libel refers to making false and harmful statements about someone, either living or deceased, with the intent to damage their reputation of honor.
Article 355 means that libelous statement can be disseminated through a wide range of channels, not just written or printed forms, but also through modern forms of communication like radio, television, or digital media.
Article 358. Article 358 means that slander involves making defamatory statements about someone through spoken words or verbal communication, instead of through written or printed means.
Penalty for libel. Arrest to mayor or imprisonment for 1 month and 1 day to 6 months, to prison correctional or imprisonment for 6 months and 1 day to 6 years.
Penalty of slander. Arresto menor or imprisonment for 1 day to 30 days, to arresto menor or disprisonment for 1 month and 1 day to 6 months mentioned a while ago.
Cybercrime Prevention Act 2012. Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012 introduced amendments to the revised penal code to address the issue of online defamation, known as cyber libel. This amendment expanded the scope of libel to include defamatory statement made through online platform. Thus, individually who engage in defamatory behavior online can be held criminally liable under the law for cyber libel, in addition to traditional forms of libel.
Case of libel and slander in the Philippines. People of the Philippines versus Santos, Reza, and Rappler. This case is about Maria Ressa, a prominent journalist and CEO of the news website Rappler, and Reynaldo Santos Jr., a former Rappler researcher and writer, that were charged with cyber libel in connection with an article published by Rappler in 2012. The article implicated a businessman, Wilfredo Keng, and his links to Supreme Court Chief Justice Renato Corona in alleged criminal activities such as human trafficking, drug smuggling, murder case, smuggling fake cigarettes, and illegal immigration practices.
In June 2020, a Manila court found Maria Ressa and Reynaldo Santos Jr. guilty cyber libel. They were sentenced to imprisonment ranging from 6 months and 1 day to 6 years, also known as prison correctional. True remained free on post-conviction bail while appealing the verdict. In January 2021, the Philippine Supreme Court upheld the cyber libel conviction against Reza and Santos but ruled that they could not be imprisoned because the law they violated took effect after the article was published. However, they were still required to pay damages to Keng. They have been ordered to pay 200,000 pesos in moral damages and another 200 pesos in exemplary damages.